Children, you have studied closure property, commutative property, associative property and identity property for all the 4 basic operations. Today, we will learn the most important property, that is the distributive property. And you have to be extremely careful while watching the video and study how to use distributive property on numbers. And in the next session, we will be studying the cancellation law. So before that, let us move on to the classroom and learn what is distributive property and how to apply that distributive property in various occasions. I will be showing you a short video based on distributive property, which is very interesting. And I hope you will study very well and you will show me that, ma'am, we also know how to use distributive property. Yes or no? Yes. So stay home, stay safe until I see you all in the next video. Let us move on to the classroom. In the previous classes, we were studying the properties of operations such as closure property, commutative property, associative property and existence of identity. Now today we will learn the existence of inverse for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So let us start with the operation addition. According to the inverse property, if x is a number, then there exists a number minus x such that x plus minus x is equal to 0. So for whole numbers, we have to check whether there is any inverse such that if a and b are 2 whole numbers, a plus b is equal to 0. So I am taking an example with a as 1. I don't know what is the inverse b. So I am going to check a plus b equals 0. Here a is 1. So 1 plus dash is equal to 0. Can you find any whole number by which when you add that whole number to 1 you will get 0? No. If I take 1 plus 0 itself you will get 1. So I cannot take 0. 1 plus 1 is 2. That is not 0. So anyway, if we add any of the whole numbers with 1, you will not get 0. So the meaning is there is no whole number by which when you add that particular whole number with 1 you will get 0. If a's value is 2, then also you can say 2 plus dash is equal to 0. You know that there is no whole number by which when you add that whole number to 2 you will get 0. That means there is no inverse for whole numbers. If I check in the number line also, if a is 1, then 0 is here. I will get 0 only if I come back to 0. So, come back to 0 means towards the left it is subtraction. So, you have to subtract 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Or you can say 1 plus minus 1 is 0. But minus 1 is a negative number or an integer. So, for whole numbers, there is no inverse. For whole numbers, there is no inverse. For whole numbers, there is no inverse for the operation addition. So naturally, for subtraction also, there is no inverse. There is no inverse for subtraction on whole numbers. For addition also there is no inverse. Now let us check for multiplication. For multiplication, The inverse property states that if x is any number, there exists a number 1 by x such that x into 1 by x is equal to 1. So in addition, you can see that x plus minus x is equal to 0. And what is 0? 0 is the identity element for addition. Here you see x into 1 by x is equal to 1. And what is 1? 1 is the identity element for multiplication. So inverse exists when for addition you add another number with a given number so that you get an identity element for addition. For multiplication also, when you multiply the inverse of the given number, you have to get the identity element for multiplication. So let us check if x is equal to 3, what will be 1 by x? It will be 1 by 3. And you know that 3 into 1 by 3 is 1. 3 into 1, 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1. But the problem is 1 by 3 is not a whole number. 1 by 3 is a fraction. So that means there is no multiplicative inverse for whole numbers. There is no multiplicative inverse for whole numbers. So if there is no multiplicative inverse for whole numbers, then for division naturally there is no inverse. There is no inverse for division on whole numbers. On whole numbers. Hope you understood the property existence of inverse. So we have studied for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. There is no inverse for whole numbers. That is very important. The most important property, that is distributive property. You have to be extremely careful while using distributive property, and we have to study distributive property over addition and subtraction. We will see the distributive property of multiplication over addition. This is the most important property which you have to use in class 7, class 8, NEFT classes. So, you attend it properly. You should be extremely careful what I am writing, and you have to be extremely attentive in this class. So distributive property is that if A, B and C are any whole numbers, then A into B plus C, or the same can be written as A into B plus C. If there is no symbol before bracket, by default it is multiplication. If I am writing 1 in brackets 2, you can see here there is no operation. So by default it is multiplication into. 1 minus 2. Here one operator is there. What is that operator? Minus. This is subtraction. 1 plus 2. This is addition. 1 divided by 2. This is division. 1, nothing is written, 2. Meaning is, if nothing is written, it should be considered as multiplication. Very important. 2 bracket 3. What is the answer? 2 into 3, 6. So that should be noted. If there is no operator given, then that is multiplication. You have to consider it as multiplication. So now coming back to our distributive property, A, B and C are any whole numbers, then A into B plus C is equal to A into B plus, again you have to come out of the bracket, A into C. What is A into B plus C is equal to A into B plus A into C. So I can write this as AB plus AC. I am not writing any operator in between AB and AC, meaning is A into B. This is A into C. AB plus AC. Now we will check this with some numbers. I am taking 3 numbers, any 3 numbers. I like 2, 3 and 4 very much. So I am going to take A's value as 2, B's value as 3 and C's value as 4. So what is the left side and right side of this equation? You can see equal to sign here. I am taking this left hand side LHS. I am writing here A into B plus C is equal to, what is A? 2 into 3 plus 4, which is equal to, by the order of operation I have to do the bracket first. 2 into, what is 3 plus 4? 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. So in the next step, I got 2 into 7, which is equal to 14. I am going to take the right side. What is that? A into B plus A into C, which is equal to, what is A? 2 into, what is B? 3 plus A 2 into C 4, which is equal to, what is 2 into 3? 6 plus 2 into 4, what is 2 into 4? 8. And why did I do multiplication first? Because in the order of operation, if multiplication is there, you have to do that first. So that is why I did not add this 3 and 2. I have multiplied 2 into 3 and I have written as 6. Again 2 into 4, I have written it as 8, and you have to add that. Now what is 6 plus 8? It is 14. Now see the answer. A into B plus C, you got the answer as 14. A into B plus A into C, that is also 14. So that means A into B plus C is same as or is equal to A into B plus A into C. This property you have to by heart. Here A, B and C are any whole number. Any whole number means from 0 to infinity, any whole number. You can take A, B and C as any whole number, and if you use this property, you will understand that A into B plus A into C is equal to A into B plus C. Or I can say A into B plus C is equal to A into B plus A into C. Now I will show where you are going to make mistake when I give such kind of questions. I will show you one question. In this question, 10 into 101, you can directly multiply, but then in the question it is told you have to use distributive property. So what will we do? According to the distributive property, A into B plus C. So first number is outside the bracket, second and third number should be inside the bracket. I have to make this into this form. So how will I make 10 into 101 to A into B plus C form? For that I will take this 101 as 100 plus 1. What is 100 plus 1? It is 101. Now see what is A? Here A is 10. What is B? It is 100. What is C? 1. Is A, B, C are whole numbers? Yes. So normally children will do like this, 10 into 100 plus 1, which is wrong. What you have to do? You have to distribute this 10 to 100 as well as 1. So 10 should be distributed to 100 as well as 10 should be distributed to 1. That here it is not done. 10 is not distributed to 1. So your answer will go wrong. Do you know why? 100 into 10 into 100 will be 1000 plus 1, which is equal to 1001, which is wrong. Why? We can multiply and see. 101 into 10 is 1010. Is this the answer you are getting here? Now that means it is wrong. So don't ever do like that. But you distribute this 10 to both 100 and 1. Ten should be distributed to 100 as well as 10 should be distributed to 1. So 10 into 100 plus, don't forget about this 10. Take this 10 again here, 10 into 1. So this distribution is very, very important. So what is 10 into 100? It is 1000. Plus 10 into 1, 10. What will you get? 1010. 1000 plus 10. 0101. So this is how you have to do a problem like this. We will solve one more problem. The second problem, solve 15 into 110 using distributive property. Now again, B plus C part is not here. 15 into 110. 110 can be written as 100 plus 10. Then you may ask, why can't we use 10 plus 5 for 15? That is also possible. But then you should understand that 100 and 10 are very easy for multiplication. That is why I converted 110 as 100 plus 10. So always look for an easier number for distributive property. So 100, 10, 1000, etc. are very easy for multiplication. That is why you have to concentrate on numbers which can be converted to 100, 1000, 10,000, etc. Now here 110 is there, so it is more near to 100. So 100 plus 10 I have written. Now 15 into 100 plus 10 is in the form A into B plus C. So what I have to do? A into B plus A into C. You can see A is distributed to B, and again A is distributed to C. A into B plus A into C. So 15 into dash plus 15 into dash. Yes, 15 into 100. While here A is 15, B is 100 and C is 10. So 15 into 100 plus 15 into 10, which is equal to, what is 15 into 100? You have already learned in class 5 that when you multiply by 10, 100,000, etc., you have to simply add those zeros. So here 15, how many zeros for 100? 2 zeros. Plus 15, how many 0 for 10? 1 0. So what is 1500 plus 150? We will add in the working column. Or if you know mental addition, you can do so. But it is always better you do it in the working column so that the teacher will understand that you are adding and not copying from anyone. So 1650. This is the answer. Hope you understood this property and how to solve some problems related to distributive property. I will be giving you more problems related to this, but now we will continue with distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. We have studied distributive property of multiplication over addition. Now we will study distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. Now we will see the distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. If x, y and z are three whole numbers such that y is greater than z, then x into y minus z is equal to x into y minus x into z. What is the difference here between that addition and subtraction? Only the symbol subtraction. All the rest are same. X into y minus x is again distributed to z, x into z. So let us see one example to verify whether this and z are three whole numbers such that y greater than z, then x into y minus z is equal to x into y minus x into z. Now here, what is the difference between the distributive property over addition? The only difference is this minus, it is minus because this is subtraction, multiplication over subtraction. So here this multiplication, and in between instead of plus we have to write minus. That is the only difference. Now we will verify this. Verify means left side should be equal to right side. Using one example, we have to take any three whole numbers. I am taking 10, 6 and maybe 50. Can I take these three whole numbers? No. Why? Because see y and z value here in this property it is saying y should be greater than z. Is 6 greater than 15? No. So in such cases, for whole numbers you cannot use that. So what will we do? I am going to interchange y and z. Y is taken as 15 and z is taken as 6. So this is true for whole numbers only when y is greater than z. I am again repeating, it is true for whole numbers when y is greater than z. So we will do this. What is the left side? X into y minus z, which is equal to, what is x here? X is 10 into what is y? 15 minus what is z? 6. So now According to the order of operation, you have to subtract this first. Why? Because this is the bracket. You have to do the bracket first. So what will be the answer? 10 into 15 minus 6. What is 15 minus 6? Is 9. That is 90. Now we have to verify whether this is true for the right side. What is the right side? X into y minus x into z, which is equal to, what is x? 10 into what is y? 15 minus what is x? 10. What is z? 6, which is equal to, what is 10 into 15? 150 minus what is 10 into 6? 60. What is 150 minus 60? 0 minus 0, 0. 5 minus 6 you cannot do, you have to borrow. So this will become 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. So 90. So now you can see that left side answer is 90 and right side answer is also 90. That means x into y minus z is same as x into y minus x into z. Number 1, existence of inverse for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And we have seen that there is no inverse for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And then we have learned distributive property of multiplication over addition and subtraction. So all these concepts are clear to you.